Everything you need to know about the Vigo Dem Party. So sit back, relax, and watch from anywhere. Get ready for a chat with a chair.
I'm Joe Etling, Chat with the Chair, and we are on a special edition, and we got a special guest, one Melvin L. Burks.
Yes, thank you very much.
Mr. Burks, you're well known to our audience, of course, in your capacity with Hamilton Center. Of course, you also are so involved in so many youth sports and high school sports. You're also an assistant football and basketball coach at Terre Haute South.
Yes, and I love it. I tell you what, there's nothing more relevant than being with the youth in this here community. And the Terre Haute South's got some good coaches.
They sure do.
Coach Herron is one of the better coaches around here.
No doubt. He was a tremendous player himself, and he's been a great coach. Many people don't realize how long you've actually been coaching.
Yeah.
Are you willing to disclose that?
I've been coaching since 1988. 1988. Coaching, good, feel good. God has blessed me. I'm ready to go.
And it's amazing, you volunteered your time. You're so busy with your profession, but yet you find time for the young people in this community, and we appreciate that. And you've come out, and of course, you've been a big sponsor with the Danny Etling football camp. Tell us what the importance of having camps like this is.
I tell you what, the more we have camps like this, and I mean like this, the type of individual Danny is in terms of what he has grown into, we need someone who's very serious about this game and about you. So to have more programs like this is I tell you what, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal to have programs that are going to come into our community and going to teach. I mean, we're up against it when you go to Indianapolis. They're bringing everybody in. But Terre Haute South brought their own, and Danny was willing. He wanted to come. So I'd say it is very instrumental to have programs where individuals know. And Danny always brings some other NFL players with him to teach individuals technique, but more than that, discipline.
Yeah, and Coach Burks, you might speak to that. What's the importance of that? Just about, I mean, they're working on individual skills for football, but there's other things that are so important about football in particular and sports overall that are for young people. What are those attributes?
I tell you, my focus is on individuals becoming good citizens of the world. And that means that you have to have good listening skills. One, you have to be disciplined. Two, you have to follow up, follow instructions, and you got to care. One other particular thing that kids needs to know when it comes to other than football, they need to know that it's important to do the little things about football so they can become a stronger, mentally prepared individual and a good citizen of the world.
Now, we haven't had the opportunity to coach together or against each other, have we?
No, I tell you what, I think you and I we'd have been really, really good. Together, we'd be really good. The kids wouldn't know what to do because we would be on them in a positive way.
Absolutely.
To do the right thing. To do the right thing.
All the way through, right?
All the way through. All the way through.
Absolutely. So that hospital over there in the distance, you're somewhat infamous for that, Coach Burks.
I tell you what, when a kid gets out of control and you want to, you can't do anything like put your hands on the kids or anything like that. So what I want the kid to know, I want them to think about it. So when they're running to the hospital, they'll think about all the things they need to improve upon. So I send them to the hospital and back and tell them to count the window. Yeah. They never can get it right, so they got to go back.
But you're always reinforcing to be thinking about what you did wrong, and when you run back, let's do it the right way. So you're always positive reinforcement. But that's a good distance, that hospital. I'm hoping I don't mess up this interview because I might get sent to the hospital.
Hey, it is a good distance. It's a good distance, but it's a very appropriate distance. Because if they fall out, they're right next to the hospital. Don't put that. Take that out. Cut that out. Cut that one out.
Go edit that.
No. It's been good. I really appreciate the Etling. The Etling has been friends of mine. Mr. Etling here has been a good community partner. And not only that, he really cares. He cares about the kids in the community also. I mean, he was coaching 8th grade football once, and they were telling me about him. He was telling me about what kind of team he had. So I said, look, I'm going to come to the championship game and see. His defense was like a tsunami. It was like a tsunami. He had a tsunami defense. Just swarm and swarm and swarm. I said, man, this guy is something. This defense, they won the game, championship.
Yeah. Well, just helping young men get better, and had the opportunity to coach young women in basketball, and that's been real delight in seeing them develop as players and young people. It's just really inspiring. I know that's I know your whole family's contributed. Your wife has allowed you to do that, and it takes so much time away from your family. But tell us why you do it.
Well, I tell you, I do it because God has blessed me, and God has blessed me to get through some very challenging things growing up in the city I grew up in. I mean, getting through that, and then there was a guy named Cecil Harper. He took me in. I mean, he became my mentor and kept me out of trouble because I shouldn't be here. I really shouldn't be here. So, and I want to give back. And so that's why I do the things I do for the youth in this community.
So if you had one message to our viewers, what would it be, Mel?
My message is say, hey, look, don't hate, just communicate. Do not hate, communicate. Because you're hearing a lot of that more and more. The social media, Facebook, I'm just saying that it gets and tears those young kids' minds up. They go into depression. They go into suicide. So I'm telling everyone out there, sports is really good. Sports is a thing that everybody should be involved in. But I really want you to get this message. Do not hate, communicate.
Initially, last year when the camp kind of started up, I just came out here for Danny to support him, just because I love him and he's been a great friend to me. I kind of fell in love with the culture here, and I really found an enjoyment in coaching these kids, and how much they enjoyed coming to play ball it was inspiring to me, and I love it, and I'm never going to miss a camp as long as it's held. These guys love the game, and they want to get better, and they're willing to listen, and they're coachable, and they say things in passing to me that still stick with me to this day. They're smart, they're dependable, trustworthy, and it's just such a pleasurable experience to coach people like that.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Did you ever have big-time football players come to your school or come to your summer when you were a kid?
Not really. I mean, there's a lot of great athletic programs down there, but I haven't really seen too many things like this. Just to be honest, this is an invaluable experience for a lot of these kids to be able to come down here and be able to compete against each other. All 6 different schools were here today. It's invaluable for these coaches and these players. And we're just happy to be able to use football for what it's best at, uniting people.
It also is not only an athletic experience for them, but it gives them a lesson in big-time guys giving back to the community, and that's something that you're giving them that's a life lesson for them.
Yeah, I think Danny's done a great job of giving back to the community selflessly, and just making sure that when these kids make it, that they could do something kind of similar, in a similar vein of giving back to the community, because it did play a role in shaping you.
When did you know that you were going to be a professional football player?
That's a great question. I guess it wasn't really a specific moment, but I do remember a buddy of mine when I got to college at LSU. I just planned on taking a redshirt year and not playing that first year, and playing sparingly, and eventually maybe when I'd get late into my years at LSU, my 3rd, 4th, or 5th season, maybe actually getting a shot to play and actually have some significant minutes. And I remember a good buddy of mine, his name's Colin Jeter. He was a tight end down at LSU, and he had a couple of stints, actually one year with the Colts for his first year coming out. But I remember Colin said, "Oh, you're not redshirting. You're going to play. You're going to play, and you're going to play a lot." And I'm like, "Oh wow, that's tremendous." I didn't really expect it, but if there was one particular moment, it was probably that. thought I had a chance, you know.
When did you, tell me about when you got drafted.
I got drafted back in early 2019. I think it was April 27th in 2019. And it was a surreal experience for me. It felt like a massive weight that I'd put on myself for the past 3 to 4 months of combine training. I felt that it was lifted off of me, and a new journey had begun for me. And I was all in, and I'm still all in, and that's probably not changing.
Tell me about when you heard your name. Tell me about that. Where were you? What was going on?
Well, I got a phone call from an area code, and I was surrounded by friends and family down in New Orleans.
Watching TV?
Yeah, I was watching the draft, and watching the draft is a painful experience if you're not being drafted, right? If you don't hear your name called, like it's painful. But for me, I was watching the TV, and I got a phone call, and I stepped away. And when someone's stepping away, they're like, "Oh my gosh, something's happening." And so I stepped away, and it was an area code that I did not recognize from California. It's like, "Oh my gosh, is this the Raiders? Are the Raiders calling me?" And I picked up, and it was John Gruden on the telephone. He said, "Foster Moreau, man, how you doing?" And from there, it was history. I was elated, and I came back in the room, and I tried to play it cool, but you couldn't keep the smile off my face.
And you've never had it off your face since, right?
No, it hasn't gone anywhere.
Tell me about Danny Etling.
There's so much to say, and so little time. But to be simply put, I think one of the greatest compliments you could give a person is that they're genuine in everything they do. Danny's a really selfless, thoughtful, giving, caring, loving individual. He's an exceptional athlete, and he lives life to the fullest, and has always lived every place. He's always left every place better than he's found it.
Danny, let's talk about this camp a little bit. How proud you must be today when 300 kids show up. What are you thinking about?
Like I said earlier, I was talking to the kids, and I said, I was just how thankful I was along my journey in the NFL and in college to come across so many great individuals, and these are the people I am closest to, and without them I wouldn't be where I am today. So I was just excited to share that with them, and this Terre Haute has meant a lot to me, and it's where I'm from, and I'm proud of where I'm from. So I'm hoping that the people who breathe life into me and give me belief can hopefully, by extension, give them some belief and give them something to strive toward and give them confidence. So I was really excited about the turnout, and I was really excited about how today went.
It's remarkable that you're able to provide such a wonderful experience for these young kids at no cost to them. That's a big deal.
Yeah, and I think that there's a lot of people to thank for that. It certainly is definitely not just me or something like that. There's, Lucas Stewart has been a tremendous help throughout doing all the legwork while I've been out, competing for a job in Green Bay, and there's people like Foster and Lindsay and Union Hospital and Mel Burks there at the Hamilton Center. There's just a lot of people to thank to help make that possible. So just to have the people show how much they care about Terre Haute, to make that free to the kids, it makes me want to do it again just because of that, because it's not a huge hassle to get people to so it's been great.
It should probably also make some folks want to be part of it next year who haven't done it in the past. I think it'd be easier next year, maybe.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope maybe give it a little more attention, like, hopefully that you guys are doing it, and hopefully we can get some more, maybe support for it, we'll see. But just with everything that we had, it was tremendous, and I was really happy to, get things done.
What do you think about Green Bay?
Green Bay's pretty great. It's a historic place, and I've been lucky to play at some historic places. Like LSU was a very historic football school, and then every time you walk around Green Bay, and you see all the streets named after all the all-time greats, and you can just sit in a room with a pretty, all-time great there himself. While he's still doing it, it's been a pretty exciting thing.
Has a place that any football player would be proud to play.
Yeah, it's been a fun one. Foster and I got to play there together once, so that was fun.
We did.
I did not get to play in the game, but I do have Lambeau Field to thank for me getting an opportunity to play, and it was definitely a historic place to play football.
Do you think, have you thought about anything after a football career? Have you thought about anything that might do?
I haven't really. I mean, I've been so lucky to play football that, I just keep doing it until someone tells me no. So I think that God puts you on earth to do something. And I think I found my calling to be a football player. So it's what I really love doing, but I still have, grad school and all those things to fall back on. And, if that's a different avenue I decide to take. But football's been going pretty good for me, so I've been loving every second of it.
Well, your dad's always got those law school books on his desk.
Well, I feel like I have to break the trend at some point. Someone's got to stop taking the LSAT. We can't be bullied into it all. 4 out of 5 is enough.
Foster, I think you might have a career as a coach.
Oh, you think so?
I do. I was watching you with those kids today, and I think you'd be a fine coach.
I love this game. I love this game, and it's given me a lot. And I think at some point, there's probably a time when I should get back to it. But hopefully that's deep in my future. But it's definitely not something I'm against.
We have another special guest with us, Coach Tim Herron, head football coach at Terre Haute South. Tell our viewers a little about your background, Coach.
I'm from Northwest Indiana, Highland. Went to Highland High School, came down and played at Indiana State in the early 90s. Went back home for a couple years, ended up down here. My wife's from Terre Haute, and been coaching at South since '97, and enjoyed my time here. Just love Terre Haute.
You've done a great job helping out with this camp, being really the one to take lead with your coaching staff so intricately involved. Talk about the importance of this, not only for your players, but for all the players, close to 300 here today that came in and participated in this camp.
I think it's great for the community. Danny coming back and some of those other guys with Foster and some of them, the kids like seeing that. And they see guys that, Danny's from Terre Haute, so they can relate, hey, here's a guy that works hard and does things right. If I do those, maybe I have an opportunity, some breaks. But just them coming back and giving and teaching our kids the right way to do things. How to compete, work hard. Are you doing the little things? They're focusing on that. Sometimes you go to camps and you see guys that might have played in the NFL, they're talking all the flash and the splash, and these guys are talking fundamentals, and that's what the kids need, and it helps grounds them. But I just think it's a great day for the community and for our kids.
Coach, you're an outstanding player at Indiana State University, and of course you've now been coaching for so many years. Have you seen any particular changes in the game from when you played at such a high level and where it is right now?
I think the biggest game is the passing. When I grew up, you threw, but it was all play action, and it was run. Now, college took off, high school followed, now the NFL. Everybody's throwing the ball 35 times a game. You're throwing to be able to run the football. We're still a little old school. We like to run the football first and throw it, but this year we got some guys that on the perimeter that had a great day today that are going to open up our run game. But it's probably the pass game and just the different combinations that have expanded over the years.
Yeah, you've got some great players, it looks like, in the Braves this coming season. So talk about this upcoming season and talk about how people come out and support your program and contribute to the Braves' success.
Yeah, our Touchdown Club does a great job helping us and feeding our kids. And we opened up the season with talking to somebody a little bit ago, we opened up with Gibson Southern, who won the 3A state title. Rebuff got beat by them in the state title. We played them later in the season. Okay. So we have 2 perennial, powerhouses in 3A. We played week 2 a team out of Chicago, Rich East STEM School, which is going to be pretty good. They're about 3,000 students. And then we start conference play, which is no gimme either. So we've never backed down from challenges. We want to play good teams. We had a chance to pick up a team that probably was a lot smaller than us, not very good, and then we can't get better doing that. And we challenged our kids, and we've had a great off season, and I really think our kids are looking forward. We got our Jamboree August 19th here with Northview, us, Terre Haute North, and South Vermilion, which is great for us. And then we'll turn around and open up the first 2 weeks at home. So we're home the first 3 weeks of the season.
Of course, this program today, this camp's all free for all the kids that come, which is awesome. Of course, you run in your program how expensive it is to feed these boys and also to travel and do things, make sure they stay hydrated, well nourished. How could our viewers help out in that way?
Just reach out to me at the school or our Touchdown Club on Facebook page. We have a fuel station we started up, so after workouts, after practice, we have some protein shakes. granola bars, cheese crackers, peanut butter sandwiches, something to fill them up so before they go home, because they'll still go home and eat. But reach out to us. There's a lot of ways that way they can help donate or equipment needs, because we're looking at funding a new sled, doing some things in the locker room upgrades, and we've got some people already on board with that.
What is that best contact?
Probably just reaching me at teh@vigoschools.org. Just email me and we'll get back with you and talk about those things. We're always looking for support. We put up banners for people that donate.
Okay.
We put up bigger things for groups, larger donations. We give them multiple banners inside and outside the field, and then we announce them at game time.
They've got the Super Bowl ring, world champion, Danny Etling, Terre Haute South product, giving back. I'm Joe Etling. Till our next chat, be safe, be healthy, God bless.
MOCRATIC. Everything you need to know about the Vigo Dem party. So sit back, relax, and watch from anywhere.